Islamic lesson of the day: never turn your back on Allah. Be an unapologetic Muslim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All praises belong to Allah. The Prophet Muhammad says, whoever seeks Allah's pleasure by the people's wrath or anger, Allah will suffice him from the people. And whoever seeks the people's pleasure by earning Allah's wrath, Allah will leave him to the people. Let's start off with saying that Islam promotes many things that the disbelievers are pleased with, and Allah is also pleased with as well. Like Muslims donating money to the poor, or doing charitable things, or Muslims being tolerant to people of other religions, or displaying good manners and keeping good character. Many principles and teachings of Islam are universal to all religion or ways of life that even the disbelievers think is good and are happy with you, and it's also gaining Allah's pleasure at the same time. But the point of this hadith from the Prophet, peace upon him, is that oftentimes, being a believer, you will have to act in accordance with your faith. And acting in accordance to your faith will unfortunately leave you at odds with the rest of society. Or society will be looking very negative towards you, especially the way society is going with its moral values always degrading and most of the major sins becoming normalized and acceptable. For it is Iman, or you having faith in Allah and in the Messenger Muhammad, peace be upon him, is what distinguishes you as a Muslim from the rest of the world. Never turn your back on Allah. Be an unapologetic Muslim. Allah will always be there for you. As the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, whoever gains the pleasure of Allah by angering the people, Allah is sufficient for him of the people's troubles that they will give him. So why do Muslims seek the pleasure of people while what they are doing they know is displeasing to Allah? It is because many Muslims are short-sighted by the materialistic world, like favorable coverage by the press media. If you sell out or give lip service to, and the media will label you as a moderate Muslim. Or like how many Muslims, they know if they give lip service to tarnishing the image of Islam, they will make more money, or they will gain a better livelihood. Or if they don't speak up, they know that their life will resume as normal, and the Muslim suffering in Palestine has nothing to do with them. So, many Muslims make alliances with non-Muslims that brings a lot of benefits to the Muslim who is selling out their religion. As the Prophet, peace upon him, said, people will sell the religion for the goods of this world. But in a Muslim's life, he has to make decisions that will put them at odds with society often. A Muslim has to pray. Sometimes this is displeasing to the people because the non-Muslim employer does not want to give time off. Or maybe Muslims will observe fasting during the month of Ramadan. And if the Muslim works at a job, the employer needs all of his employees, including the Muslim workers, to give 100% in order for the company to achieve their goals. And fasting obviously will negatively affect a Muslim's worker's performance. So he will not be giving his best when he is fasting during the month of Ramadan, when he cannot eat or drink. But for a Muslim, he puts his trust in Allah. And if the people hate him for practicing Islam, he said, then so be it. And in today's world, there are so many situations or questions where what society deems that this is okay. For Islam, it is not okay. Now, that does not mean that you have to be rude and you have to be mean. Just say, look, homosexuality is a sin in Islam. There it is. That's it. The other religions, they went the path of misguidance because they adapted their religion according to what suited their desires and to what suited the needs of society. Whereas with Islam, we adapt, but we never adopt to what is contrary to what pleases Allah. So remember, sufficient for us is Allah. He is the best protector of our affairs. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Please, Muslims, if you're reading this, hearing this, please always say this. Stand up for your faith. Allah will always be there for you. As a Muslim, many Muslims are shy from protesting or having peaceful political activism because they don't want to be portrayed as a terrorist just because you portrayed for the rights of Gazans. But don't worry, if more Muslims did the right thing and they stood out from the crowd, then the world will have to recognize and they will have to acknowledge what they say, what they are saying, or what they are calling for. For example, the Palestinian situation is the best example. If anyone who protested or raised awareness about what's happening to the poor Gazans, to the poor Palestinians in Palestine, their land is they're being displaced from their homes, their land is being stolen, they're being starved. If anyone stood up for the Palestinians in the past, they would be labeled as terrorists. But today, those Muslims who stood up, earning the wrath of the people but gaining the pleasure of Allah, Allah had their back, and now today the world's opinion has changed, and many more people are siding with the Palestinians against the apartheid state that is going on in Palestine. So always have your faith in Allah. Allah will always be there for you. You as a Muslim, you are distinguished from the rest of society, from the rest of humanity, because of monotheism, because of Tawheed, because that you pray, because you fast, because you have higher moral standards than the rest of society. And if that puts you at odds with society, then so be it. But you are not trying to clash with anyone. You are just saying, for me is my religion, for you is your religion, your way. So Jazakallah khairan. So never turn your back on Allah. Be an unapologetic Muslim. Allah will always be there for you.